Okay, Ed Glendale, Dweeden, come on over. Because remember, Second Life has three-dimensional sound, so if you're not close, you won't hear. You have to be close like in real life. And the funny thing is as you turn your head, you will hear it in one speaker or another speaker or a different speaker. Okay, everybody set? All right, let's get the show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Okay, so we got our headsets working the best we can. We will give out diplomas here shortly, so everybody's around the stage. That's good. Okay, so welcome everyone. You've done an outstanding job over this last 6 weeks, and I'm really happy to see the progress that everybody's made, and I really, truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's amazing, especially when you guys came back with some of the connections. It showed me that you totally get this, and that's what's really important. I also saw that everybody jumped on the bandwagon and got into Facebook and was doing wall postings and sent out the tweets and did everything that you were supposed to do. I think that that's also absolutely amazing. And you kept up with the reading assignments, the exams, and the pop quizzes. I know that I pushed you really hard over the last 6 weeks, but I had to do that because, as you saw now, I think you understand that social media was such an integral part of Fusion Marketing that we really had to kind of do it in that format. So, okay, let's see. And the proof of it is right here. I'll bet absolutely for sure that you've never attended a graduation in a virtual world. So, all right, let's begin. Keep working on it, Robbie. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for our very special speaker. I'm really happy and proud that we got this gentleman to come and do the commencement address today for us. His name is Dr. Gary Witt. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Witt. Dr. Witt has spent over 20 years in all areas of marketing and business communications. His company, Marketing Psychology, has served clients such as Harrah's, US West Telephone, Western Dental Clinic Chain, 1-800-Flowers, and Singularity, Taiwan and Japan. Dr. Witt is a professor of marketing at Embry-Riddle University, where he serves as the department chairman for many years. He also teaches at Northern Arizona University, Arcadia University, Ottawa University, and several other universities, including Western International University. Dr. Witt has won numerous national awards, is published textbook author, and has written over 100 articles about marketing. He lives in Scottsdale, Arizona with his wife, 2 small dogs, and Dr. Witt is a very good personal friend of mine. And if you think you've heard Dr. Witt's name before, you actually have. Dr. Witt is the author of the foreword for the Fusion Marketing Bible. So with that, Dr. Witt, can you please speak to the Fusion Marketing Academy class of 2013? Make sure your green button is on because I'm not seeing the sound over your head, Dr. Witt.
Okay, can you hear me? Wonderful.
Hear you.
Great. First of all, congratulations. You are the first graduates of the latest approach to marketing. Now, let me begin by asking all of you a question. What do you think that these things, these inventions, all have in common? The steam engine, the telegraph, clipper ships, oil refineries, the automobile, computers, and the internet. Well, the answer is that they are all transformative inventions. They changed thousands of businesses and millions of lives. Just think, for example, how many buggy whip manufacturers went out of business after Ford's popular Model T became available. So these are inventions that cause things to change in major ways in our society, in all sorts of ways, both personal and in business. What else? Well, each one of these things spawned many types of supporting industries. Imagine the automobile, for example. Spawning off of that were auto parts industries, repair shops, road building companies, and even car radios. In fact, let me tell you an interesting story about car radios. It's a terrific story, and it shows one thing which you should realize also as new graduates of Fusion Marketing. Number one, it's how little ideas plus preparation plus being in the right industry equals success. I think you'll like this story. Back in 1929, this is just before the Depression, two young fellows from Quincy, Illinois, named Bill Lear and Elmer Wavering, had gone out with their girls in the car, and they went out parking. Well, while they were in the car, Bill turned to Elmer and said, "Gosh, it would really be nice if we had some music while we were here." But of course, at this point, cars didn't have radios. Well, they got to thinking about this, and both of them had gotten out of the Navy with electronics degrees, and so they started tinkering in the workshop in Bill's garage. And finally, after quite a while, they got one that worked. There were a lot of technical problems because of the makeup of a car and the power source and so on, but they finally got it to work. And they decided that they would try to get somebody to actually manufacture it. So they went to a radio convention in Chicago, and there wasn't a whole lot of interest there, but they did meet one fella. His name was Paul Galvin, and he had a little company called Galvin Manufacturing, which had made some auto parts, and it was now being, it was the parts that they were now making were being phased out, so he was looking for something. He liked the idea, and they went to Galvin's manufacturing company, built a radio, and installed it in Galvin's Studebaker. Well, he went around to the banks. They couldn't find any funding, and finally, Galvin was just about broke. Well, what he decided to do was to go to the Radio Manufacturers Association convention in Atlantic City. Now, he didn't have any money. I mean, he was just pretty much broke. And so he did a very clever thing. He drove his car up to the outside of the hall, and he turned up the radio. So as people were coming in, they would hear the radio in the car, walk over and see what was going on. And in this way, he was able to get enough orders to start manufacturing these radios. Well, when you manufacture a product, as you well know, you have to have a brand name, and a good brand name. So what he decided was that he would follow something that was very popular at that time. And what was popular was putting the letters OLA after a particular word. So, for example, you had the Victrola, or you had the Radiola. Well, Galvin said, since this is a motor car, we should do that. So he called the company, the product, Motorola. Well, the first models were pretty good, and they made some sales, but unfortunately, the Depression hit, and the radio really became pretty expensive for that time, and so they were back struggling again. And he worked 3 more years on it, he and Elmer and Bill, and they finally got it down to where it was easier and cheaper to install. And then they went to Ford and convinced Ford that they should start putting radios as original equipment in cars. And at that point, the fortune was made. Galvin did one thing. He changed the name of his company from Galvin Manufacturing to, as I'm sure you've guessed, Motorola. Elmer went to work for him. Elmer invented a lot of other things, including the car alternator, which allows us to have power steering, power radios, power windows, and things like that. Bill, on the other hand, decided he wanted to go off on his own. And one of the first things that Bill invented was the 8-track tape player. But you probably know Bill Lear for his most important and his biggest invention, literally, the Lear jet. Now, all 3 of these men made fortunes. Why? Because 2 guys wanted some music in their car. But Bill, Elmer, and Paul had one other thing in common. They were prepared for their big opportunity. And they were ready to take a chance on a product that they believed in. Well, like them, you're at the beginning of a new age. This is the internet age. When television was in approximately the same spot in its development as the internet is right now, we hadn't even had Howdy Doody yet. What does this mean? It means that you are pioneers. You're among the early people who are going to shape the internet's impact on future generations and nearly every type of business on earth. We already can see how much the internet has changed things, but you know what? It doesn't really matter, because that change is only a drop in the bucket from what is going to come. There is so much more to come. And you have started your preparation to seize your own opportunity in this new industry. But today, you also must be a lifelong learner. So keep learning while you watch for your chance. Be ready, and be proud of yourself for taking this important step by understanding fusion marketing. That's the next important transformation in marketing strategy. Thank you, Lon, for this opportunity to talk to your graduates, and I wish all of you the best of luck.
Okay, everybody, now I want you to hit F2. F2. Hit your F2 key. Dr. Witt, thank you very much. And if you notice, the audience is applauding you. You can't hear it, but you can probably see it. That's an awesome speech because it is so absolutely true. I love your stories because it brings it home. We all are on the precipice of a brand new technology, and we have as much opportunity ahead of us as the people that you had mentioned. Dr. Witt, thank you very, very much for coming out today. It's been a great honor to have you come and address this class. Thank you again. Wow. You can remain on the stage if you wish. Now comes the time where we actually give out the certificates of achievement, the diplomas. Yay. This is what we've all been waiting for. So let me do that. Just give me a second. I've got to get those out of the folder. Okay. We have 8 people graduating today. Brenda, I'm going to start with you for no particular reason. Brenda, you are BLS. Okay, now what's going to happen is, and Ed Glendale, if you can type this, I'd appreciate it. When I drop your diploma, when I give you your diploma, a little window is going to pop up in the top right-hand corner that's going to ask you if you want to keep it. And you're going to say, yes, you do. That's your diploma. And just like in the instructions that I gave you, when you go over to your inventory, which is the little suitcase on the left, and you click on it, slide down to note cards, open it, you will see your diploma in there. If you double click it, it will open up. The first line, if you double click, you will actually see your diploma right now in Second Life. The second line is the URL that you can paste into the browser after class and actually print it or save it. Okay, so Brenda, thank you very much. You did a really spectacular job. And if for any reason this doesn't work, or you're not happy with getting it here in the class, speak button definitely green now, but haven't heard a word yet. Okay, sorry about that. Misdemeanor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send out an email with your personal link to your diploma. So Brenda, you should have received it. You can go take a look at it right now. Okay, next one is Gary. I want to thank you for coming out today, and I love the gown as well. You did a great job on that. That just cracks me up. That's awesome. Okay, you should be receiving it. The next graduating student is Fiona. Let's get Fiona's diploma. And Fiona, who is Fiona? I am not recognizing the name out there. Fiona, can you... Okay, I'm asking what her Second Life name is. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead now to Elizabeth. Elizabeth. I see Elizabeth stepping up to the stage. Okay, here you go, and here's your diploma. Okay, Cricket. I hope you can hear me, and if you can't, you'll hear this in the replay. Where is Cricket? Oh, there's Cricket. Okay, and we'll drop that on you, and you should be able to say keep, pull it from your note cards, and then Tova. You did a really terrific job, guys. Tova, I love the gown. That is so cool. Okay, whoa. Okay, and here goes Tova's diploma. And again, don't worry about it if you can't find it or have a problem with it. I'll send you links where you can download it off the server. Okay, Robbie. Let's see, Robbie. There's Robbie. Okay, and we give you your diploma. Robbie, you should have your diploma now. And Stephanie. Let's see where Stephanie is. Oh, there you are. Stephanie Dweeden. Okay, and here comes yours. And then now we're back to Fiona. I should know by the process of elimination. Is it misdemeanor? Oh, yeah, there it is, misdemeanor. Okay, and we'll give her yours. Okay. And Ed Glendale, if you want to see what we're talking about, I'll give you one also. And Dr. Witt, if you want to see what we're talking about, I'll show you a sample diploma as well. Okay, excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out. Now is the time that I want you to socialize, if you can talk, and help yourself to some refreshments. There's champagne, there's Pepsi, there's popcorn. Help yourself to a cup of coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, and the class of 2013, congratulations and thank you. Turn your speak buttons on and let's talk.
This has been really fun. I'm amazed that I've been able to get as far as I have in Second Life.
I'm kind of pleased that we were actually able to pull the complexity of this off as well.
Gary and I have done pretty well in it. We practiced a few times, in fact, getting our gowns and everything.
Oh, what a great idea. I love the gowns. What a cool idea. Dr. Witt, if you're within ears shot, thank you for coming out today. That was quite an honor. I really appreciate that you took the time and the trouble to come in and address the class. That was really cool.
Well, I'm honored too. This is the first graduation I've participated in that's ever been held on Second Life, and so this was a real thrill for me too. And I love all the ways that your students have grown and learned new things. So thank you for asking me.
Oh, my pleasure. What a great story. I love that. I mean, it starts out like from a century ago and pulls it right into today. And it was one of the best examples I've heard of being on the cutting edge of a disruptive technology. And you were dead on with that. That was great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Witt. That was just really nice. I took notes.
Oh, good. And it may well be that others here in the class have similar stories. And if you have a story that you'd like to share now, either one you've heard or maybe with yourself, why, this would be a great time to do it.
Yeah, please. This will be the last time all of us will be together in one place. And again, for those who... Yeah, go ahead, please.
One of the things that I forget about that you made very clear in this class is that sometimes we just assume that our customers or our potential customers know the basics. And so sometimes I don't think to go back to the very beginning. And you made that really clear, just covering everything, because there's always at least one little tidbit that we forget about in the marketing strategy system that we need to share with people. There's always one little tidbit in anything that somebody else can pick up that you know that they don't.
That's a really great observation, and I appreciate the support, because I'm absolutely sure that some of you, when you saw that it was so social media heavy, that you're like, wait a minute, no, I came here to learn fusion marketing. But I was hoping that no matter how proficient you were at social media marketing, you still would pick up new tips and tricks. And because what I found being out there and consulting with people and doing keynotes, they think they know social media, but they really don't. But it's really difficult to convince them that there's so much more, just like what we're doing at this moment.
And I think that's true, because I've tried to take some different online classes and never really signed up for the final thing, because I never got a complete picture of what it was they were trying to tell me. And now that I've taken your class, I recognize they weren't trying to teach me the complete picture, just a small portion of it. So I'm grateful to this class.
And the thing is that unfortunately, these people that are calling themselves social media experts, the reason they're not deliberately holding back, they don't know it. They don't know the big picture. And I'll be honest, if I wasn't contractually obligated to produce an 800-page book for Wiley, there'd be no way that I would have immersed myself in this industry as far as I had. Once I signed the contracts, I was committed. So by accident, I probably became the most exposed person on earth to social media. And that's when I realized that everybody else is getting it wrong, because they're focusing on one or two tools, and they're not strategies. These are just tools.
Yeah, Lon, you're absolutely right about that. And as Lon said, I've been in marketing for about 20 years, both as a consultant and an instructor. And one of the things that makes fusion marketing so revolutionary is that it, for the first time, gives you an opportunity to mesh social media marketing and traditional marketing together. And one of the things that an analogy that I came up with, that Lon and I have talked about many times, to maybe help you better understand where all of this is going in terms of social media, is imagine that marketing is a house. And we have a room that's called television, and one that's called radio, and one that's called direct mail, and billboards, and so on. And every time a new technology comes along, of any kind, like television or whatever, the marketing industry has basically just built another room onto the house. And that was certainly true with the internet. I mean, I can remember when basically the internet used to be kind of an outhouse, and then finally it got to be a room in the house. And if people had a little bit of extra money, they might throw a little bit of money at internet marketing, but that was all. And then it became more and more important, and basically began to occupy much more of a central role. Well, social media came along, and social media also was just some little room that got tacked on to the back of the house. Well, what we're seeing now, though, is something that is totally different in relation to social media, and that is that social media, as it develops, is not going to remain a room in the house. Social media is basically going to become like electricity. It's going to be part of every room in the house. It's not going to be its own little separate room. Just like we don't think about we're going to plug in our electric refrigerator, or we're going to plug in our electric iron, or whatever it is. It's simply the iron, and it's simply the refrigerator. And electricity is what helps to drive it, to make it work. And that's going to be true with social media also. When we think about direct mail, there's going to be a social media component to it. When we talk about billboards or television or the internet, there's always going to be a social media component to it, which is going to make it work better. It is going to make it more efficiently. It's going to create a better ROI for it. And that is a really difficult concept for a lot of people to get their arms around. And thanks to this class, you have been able to do that. And so you are better prepared now than a lot of other people out there to make this new fusion marketing strategy work. And for that, I applaud Lon. I have told Lon many times that he is the only genius I know. And I continue to say that because he comes up with these ideas of all sorts that nobody else thinks about. So, well done, Lon.
Thank you, Dr. Witt. And the contributions that you made to this book has been invaluable. Besides the forward, Dr. Witt also was the technical editor because he's got a PhD and 20 years experience in traditional marketing, and he also understands the importance and how to use social media and digital. So I couldn't think of anybody I wanted to help do the technical edits just to make sure that I was on track, because even though I've been doing traditional marketing my whole career, I certainly don't have a PhD. So Dr. Witt breathed a lot of life, pointed a lot of errant chapters in the right direction, and added some really terrific stories like the one you heard this morning at the commencement address. So my hat's off to Dr. Witt. Thank you for making Fusion what it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up. At least I'm going to. I'm going to go take a couple of Tylenol. This has been a heck of a lot of fun. Thank you, truly and honestly. Thank you for everything. Goodbye doesn't mean goodbye. It just means ciao, which in Italian means both hello and goodbye. And anybody know what is it in Hawaii that means both hello and goodbye?
Aloha.
Aloha, thank you. That means both hello and goodbye. So I'm going to say aloha and ciao for now. I want to stay in touch with you guys. I want to see what we can do together in the future. And I want to get you up on the Fusion Marketing website to try to promote you as much as possible as well. So if you have any questions, please, by all means, stay in touch with me. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you. This has been an incredibly rewarding experience for me. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to leave for now and see you all again. But please feel free to stay, have some champagne or some soda, some popcorn, coffee, and talk between yourselves. Thanks.